Monday, drawing day. And Mondays used to be my favorite day of the week. They were the most adrenaline one. Actually, I miss the energy that they used to be. I didn't mind today, actually. I think that Mondays are still my favorite day of the week. And today is a new week, and I'm determined for it to go well. Drawing was difficult today, but I think that the approach I'm trying to learn is going to be extremely useful. What I'm trying to do is actually putting first the axis, so the middle axis and then the shoulder line, the pelvis line, and then before drawing the outlines of the figure, I'm trying to draw the boxes that make the figure. So it's a kind of a bridgman approach. I'm struggling with it. I really need to study geometry, solid figures, and stuff like that. I was saying that in the previous videos already, and I still think it's super useful, and probably it's the best approach to drawing. Today there was one of my favorite models, the one that makes very weird poses during quick sketches. Today she was a little bit on low energy as well, I felt, because the long poses were a bit of a normal poses, like we call it contrapposto, so it's like when a shoulder is up and the pelvis is on the opposite side, let's say. Also, probably she won't be coming anymore because she's got private things changing in her life, and I'm really sorry because, as I was saying in the previous videos, I was enjoying a lot drawing her. Also today, when the model was not there, I started a master copy of a Rubens drawing, both to study the anatomy of the back, since in anatomy we are studying the back, as you know, and also to study the tratteggio. I just started it, so I think I still need to work on it a little bit. And also tonight, when the model was not there, I drew a head of a cast. And I guess that's it for today, so let's stay positive. Tuesday, drawing day. Today it was a good day actually, and even if I'm still not able to draw with the new method, I'm actually motivated to keep learning with that. I think it makes sense in general. I also enjoyed today because today we had a new model that we never had before, and he actually looked like a character from Ribera's painting, so I was really inspired by him and by drawing him, even though I didn't make him justice in my drawings, unfortunately. We also have homeworks. One of those is to draw as many solid figures as we can. So just like cylinders, cones, boxes, moving in space. And I think that's actually super useful because that's gonna be the shapes that we're gonna use, that I'm gonna use to draw my figures. So probably if you draw, you know what I'm talking about. And honestly, at the moment, I'm not able to move these solid figures in space with a lot of confidence, so I think that's gonna be super useful for me. I don't know when I'm gonna do this homework since I basically live at the academy, but you know, I will try to do that. And that's only one part of the homework, because then the second part of the homework is to do 10 or 20 fast sketches a day of people moving or like animals moving, whatever we can find around us. After every week, the teacher is gonna check our sketches, give us feedback on how to improve, and also check the progress. I find that useful. You know, previously we used to do fast sketches at school, which I still keep preferring because obviously I'm there the whole day. I don't know when I'm gonna do the fast sketches at home and with whom. So I find that slightly difficult, and I'm spending time at the academy exactly to learn drawing. But at the same time, you know, we want to do too many things. So I'm still gonna try and do these fast sketches at some point. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do them every day, but I'm still gonna try. The solid figures are what I really need to practice with. Also, talking about that, there is an interesting channel that I follow, and it's actually Vale Sutela. For this May, she suggested a challenge, and that challenge is copying the whole Bridgman's book from the first page to the last page. Bridgman's book is actually this one. And Bridgman basically draws figures as boxes, literally like solid figures moving to the space. I think it's gonna be really useful. I really want to do this challenge, although I won't have time in May. I don't think I will have time in June either. I'm probably gonna spend the month of July and August, since there's no academy, doing that and doing other exercises. Probably I'll keep you updated on that if you're interested. And if you're interested in other exercises that I'm gonna do, let me know. I think that might be useful for you as well. I'm gonna put the link to the book in the description. I actually went a little bit off topic talking about that, but another thing I was gonna say about today was that we had the anatomy class, and I actually enjoy it. We looked at the muscles of the arms, and I love drawing arms for some reason, so I found that super useful because I sometimes draw it like randomly, but I actually don't understand the muscles that are below it, so I think that was super useful. And also for the first time in the anatomy class, we had a real life model, so we could already see in practice where these muscles were, so not only on the book but also on the model. So that was very interesting and I enjoyed it. Wednesday, painting day, and today, after last week's theoretical class and adaptation, we were introduced to the new method we were described last week through practice with Nicola Verlato. It's a very different method, so for sure it will take time to learn. And basically the method goes like this. So first, we draw, we make a very detailed drawing with shadows, with tratteggio. We spend a good amount of time in making this drawing. So for example, today I spent the whole morning drawing, not painting. Then in the afternoon, I fixed the painting with a fixative actually, so that the graphite doesn't move around. And then I went over it with a layer of acrylic gesso diluted with water, so that it's actually transparent and I could see the drawing below. So the drawing below is almost like a grisaille. It gives volume, it gives shape. After this, you start reasoning by shadows and light, by big blocks, let's say. What we did was going over the shadows first with a very diluted oil color. So it's diluted with solvent, or it becomes like watercolor. And we go both through shadows, but also with light in combination. So we make both interact. I still need to get used to it because before I used to go with shadows first, midtones, and then lights. But now you need to do the two things at the same time, and I need to get used to it. Moreover, as a difference to the other method, it's much lighter, let's say. Do you remember that I told you that when I came to the academy, everyone was telling me you need to make shadows darker and darker and darker, and I wasn't seeing all this dark in what I was seeing in reality? Well, apparently we are painting much closer to reality in terms of light, but it's because it's a different method. We reach light through a different way, through a different path. We build less, and also the color is so much more diluted. It's very different. As I was saying, it will take time for me to adapt, and it's like starting over again. And in fact, I came to terms with the fact that probably I'm not gonna learn colors so fast, and probably I'm not gonna learn to paint alla prima, but you know, this method makes sense to me. I'm actually eager to learn it, so here we go. Today we have a guest in the vlog. Hello baby, that's my cat. And Thursday painting. Today was actually a good day, although it was more frustrating than yesterday. Okay, she decided not to stay with me, so I moved here to vlog. Today was actually more frustrating than yesterday. Not only for me, I saw that everyone was struggling a little bit. I don't know if it was the pose or if it was actually the new method, but I spent 3 hours and a half drawing. Oh my god, that was so long before getting the pose right and before starting painting. The reason is mainly that I really wanted to draw properly with the new method that I'm trying, and I really want to explain this well. So what I mean is that there's not a current method probably. However, I really found my method. I draw well with outlines and I really managed to get the proportions right, the things right, and so on. But I think that there's always something missing. And in particular, while using the new method, which consists in drawing inner boxes, the inner figures, the inner solids that make up the body, I managed to give it more volume, more structure. So I think it's necessary to have a combination of both the outlines, but mostly the inner lines, I would say, because with those you firstly give the volumes, as I was saying, but also you need the anatomy to give the right structure to the body. I have the outlines. I'm trying to draw with the solids that make up our body, and right now I miss anatomy. However, right now I have the anatomy book, so this summer I will spend my days studying anatomy, so to be able to properly draw a body I think these are the three elements that I really need for my drawings to be very structured and realistic, I would say. So that's why I really wanted to persevere today. I really wanted to put an effort until the drawing was okay. And before getting to the right drawing, I erased my drawing twice. I actually felt freedom when I was erasing my drawings, and the freedom to restart again, to make mistakes, and just trying. And I'm happy that I did it. Of course, the drawing didn't come out perfectly yet, but it was an exercise, so it was fine. Since I drew for so long, I started painting only at 2 p.m. and I haven't finished my painting because I had to leave the class a little bit earlier. But it's fine. It was just an exercise, as I was saying, and it was a good practice for sure. So how did my week go? It finally went much better. For some reason, I managed to change my mood, and I'm happy about that because I really needed that. I'm actually very determined to learn with the new teachers, the new method, because actually I don't have any choice, but I'm more positive about it. I see the structure they are giving to the classes. I see that the new method makes sense. So I think it will enrich my journey, honestly, and I have nothing to lose in trying. Actually, I only have to gain. I'm very positive, and I hope that from now it's only gonna get better. Not much else to say, honestly, so get ready to have my positive energy back here, cause I'm back.
They call me Slim Shady. I'm back.
Also, it would be really useful for me if you could let me know how you're finding my videos, if they are useful, if there are things that I'm not showing and you would love to see. I really want to improve my videos, so it would be super useful to have your feedback. Let me know if you have any questions or doubts or anything that comes to your mind. A feedback would be amazing. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you are not a subscriber yet. And I'll see you next week. Bye!